Hello, good people. So, I always wanted to do a video in this style, the style I would call like Mino style, a video where I just like take one of my replays and talk about it, commentate on it, because I like these games, I like talking about them. Always wanted to do it with like a run, a clear that is very important to me, and I think this clear right here is definitely, this is my most important clear so far. Will probably forever be. I don't think I can ever top this in order of importance. May top this in like quality. This right here is like, this is my current Wubauk PB, and as of currently me recording the current world record. To say that I am proud of this run is like an understatement. I'm just like euphoric. And yeah, I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to show this on YouTube and also like commentate about it in like more detail than what I did on my Twitch stream, which since I got this on stream, I guess I'm gonna do that now. Won't speed this up, unlike Twitch, and I'm just gonna talk about how this run is. It's really good. Since this first half there is nothing much that happens, I can say that. Compared to the previous world records, overall, if you have to take everything into account, it's slightly less optimal in like... I guess, compared to the previous world record, it's a bit less optimal perhaps, but there is one major important thing, and that is the fact that I didn't break on a hyper, I didn't break even a single hyper, and that's like the most important thing you can do, because if breaking even just one hyper is gonna lose you at least like 100 million depending on the hyper. Some of them are worth more. But like the previous records, I didn't break any. So right here, I don't know, I never bomb this usually, I just like keep the bomb and accept that occasionally this fails because I kill a wisp and the jellyfish token does not spawn. This thing here, however, I do bomb because it just makes this section free. It's otherwise extremely annoying. It helps a tiny bit with gains, but it's not worth bombing just for the gains. Guess I can talk about the game during like the game mechanics in like stage 2 maybe, because this stage actually a lot happens. So like this dupe was like good. I got this dupe with 3 fishes instead of 4, which is slightly suboptimal, but at least it's not like I didn't dupe using 2 beasts, you know. Because I preferably you wanna save as many beasts as possible for Aika here. I don't bomb here because I need to keep the bomb for final. Normally bombing this would like gain 3000 extra PIV, which is like 36 million extra score. I usually don't do it because doing final no bomb is cringe. So right here I just like do regular shooting down. Here I just go for a 4 after and shoot her down. Not much to say honestly, like this spell is just shooting her down. Just making sure you try to focus on shooting her down and preferably not cancel as many mentals, I guess. This is like the big thing in stage 1 that I did. So like, unlike Borealis and Neonkichi, what I've been like doing the past 2 years basically is this. I've learned to do this counter spin movement, which gains a lot of PIV in second on. You can only do it as long as no beast tokens are flying towards you. And yeah, it gains a lot of score. And here I said I normally bomb, but this run specifically I didn't bomb because the tokens were getting really nice to start a hyper without bombing. I think this is like unironically the first time I've done this. I'm not joking, I don't know why, I've just never tried to do it. And I actually do it on the first time on the run that clears. So this extra bomb that I just saved is gonna be nice in stage 3. I'm gonna use it in stage 3. But other than that, like, on the RNG movement on the tokens for second on was really nice. Actually it's about average. I got like an extra 3000 PIV. It can be better, but can be worse. So I guess I can now, like, just in case, briefly talk about the game mechanics, because nothing happens in this first half. So you generate PIV by shooting down enemies when the hyper is active, and also by cancelling bullets through Otter Spirits, and also when you end a pattern. So like in this case, it's important to cancel the bullets, but also like shoot the big fairies down. Like right there, I would preferably move under the fairy to shoot her down, but the bullets are not being they're not cooperating, yeah. Right here, I do delay the hyper by one wave because it is optimal to do so. And here I'm gonna do a dupe, which is basically when you... what the fuck is going on? Shit, wait. What the fuck? Something is wrong with my PC right now? Wait, oi. Okay, it should be good. I hope you couldn't see that on the video, but like, the screen darkened. My screen went black. So anyways, the dupe right here, how dupes work, if you finish a hyper, and then you like, start a new hyper before the release is given, and if the new hyper you are starting is using the rare beast token dropped from mid-boss, you are basically gonna switch the reward of the hyper right here. I should release 2 beast tokens after this hyper, but because I start this new hyper using the cow token dropped by Urumi, because I start this before I release the tokens, the release now is gonna switch with the release of the cow token, which is this 3 beasts, 1 life, 1 bomb. And then when this hyper ends, it's also gonna drop the same release. So you effectively gain 3 extra tokens. One of the tokens is always a life piece, so in total you can get like an extra 2 lives, which help a lot. They gain about probably 400 million. If you account for the extra hyper that you also get when you do dupe on like stage 4 and 6, it's probably like 600 million actually. So this thing right there was really bad because I collected that eagle, which is not good. I want 5 Otter now, and now I'm gonna get a 4. It loses 1000 PIV on Rumi first man, which I mean, it's not bad. It's bad mostly because it's so easily avoidable. The actual loss is like minimal, it's whatever. I'm just gonna get 1 less wave that I can cancel because of this power Otter right here. It is what it is, it happened, just deal with it. Now this though made me mad, because yeah, that is annoying because that's another 1000 PIV lost, because I want a 4 Otter here. And yeah, that's not cool. Really not cool. But yeah, usually this is how the Wubok gameplay loop goes. You just you have a set amount of tokens that you want to use in each stage. Those tokens are like preferably used with ideal numbers on certain patterns. Like for example, this pattern here, it wants a 5 Otter. You want to hyper both second on and second spell with just 1 hyper. Mostly because you don't have enough tokens to hyper every single pattern on Urumi. So, because the tokens move with random angles, or more specifically, tokens spawn with a random angle, they are unpredictable. So, basically, the game, the way it works is just, okay, I have ideal number of tokens that I want to use. I just need to get them at the correct time, which for the for like 99% of the game you can always do with almost 0 score losses, I guess. There are some key places where you risk losing score, but like basically nothing, basically no places that are relevant. So it's mostly just getting used to dealing with token RNG, and once you do that, you become the master of Uba. You can deal with anything. You always get the same hypers, but you always get them a bit differently. You always start them maybe in different places, using different tokens. But as long as you start them at the same time, it's gonna be fine optimization-wise. So right there, while talking, I didn't mention how starting this hyper I just did was extremely cringe, because I accidentally hugged one of the wolves, which paused its timer. Right here though, I do get the 4 Otter, which is not always easy to get this 4 Otter. The gain compared to 3 Otter is minimal. It's just that it makes this section a tiny bit easier, because if I were to use a 3 Otter, the hyper would time out when I have to move up, which means bullets can be in the way, and it can be annoying. Yeah, so right here, unlike most other places in this game, you want to actually start the hyper right away during dialogue. This, in most cases, would lose PIV, because you like make your hyper shorter. Usually you wanna delay the activation, but right here you want to kill Kutaka before like the 14-second mark anyway, and you wanna kill it this time, because otherwise there are 2 fairies right after here that won't spawn. So just like get the dupe, almost miss it because I'm stupid, and yeah, if I were to delay the hyper, doing that dupe is a bit harder, because the tokens spread after they release from Kutaka, so it's a bit harder to dupe. This bomb I don't normally use, because this is the bomb I would normally use on stage 1 final. But because I didn't bomb final, I get to use the bomb here, which makes this section free, and also gains about probably 10 million. A tiny boost of score, but a welcome boost nonetheless. Also here, you wanna start the hyper early, before the big fairy in the middle spawns, because you wanna kill 5 big fairies in total, and if you like first bomb and then hyper, in my experience it's harder to get the 5th kill. Meanwhile, if you first start shooting and then you bomb, it's gonna be easier to get the 5th kill, which is that one. Like, right, this was actually quite close to missing the 5th kill. I could tell by the music. I don't normally play with BGM, but I just assume it always works. And right there, actually, now that I actually listen to the BGM, wow, that was close. Now, Kutaka is normally really hard to get perfectly optimal. This Kutaka is perfectly optimal, and I'm super glad. So on first non-spell, you want a 5 Otter, and you want to delay the activation a bit. I did delay the activation, and if you do delay the activation, with just a single consumption, you can basically get this extra color wave of yellow and red bullets, and that adds like almost 2000. On average, it adds like 2000 PAD, but it can add up to like 3000. It's really nice if you can get the timing down, which is not always easy. Right here, a 3 Otter hyper is planned, and on second known, we plan, or at least I plan, a 4 Otter. This one also preferably delayed 4 Otter with 1 fished consumption. So if you do this 4 Otter here, you can basically get, you get to Otter hyper second spell, which is also better, because normally most people would neutral hyper this. Doing the Otter hyper here gains about 3.5, actually 3000 PIV. And when you do this, then I usually just bomb like this, because I want to guarantee 5 Otter into turn on. And bombing is the best way to do this consistently. So right here I just start a 5 Otter, delaying a bit, optimal, doing this delay plus the consumption gets me an extra color wave as per usual. And basically, you see, Here I get a 5 otter, but ideally it would be better to get a 5 otter on second non and a 4 otter on this non spell. However, that can be much harder to do. It's because of multiple reasons. First of all, it's harder to start a 5 otter instead of a 4 on second non. And it's also harder to start a 4 otter, like... If you do a 5 otter on second non, you have to neutral hyper on second spell, which is like, it's annoying, and it's harder to then start a hyper on the third non. So also here, this happens. Eagle Collection by accident because I'm stupid. Really bad, he's gonna lose 2000 PIV into stage 4. But other than that, Kutaka is perfect. Final is bombed because final is cringe. Simple as that. So normally you want a 5 otter here. 4 because I'm stupid and I collect an eagle. This loses 2000 on this hyper. So far I have had like 4,000 and 4,000 avoidable PIV losses. Really stupid avoidable PIV losses. So right there you just like bomb to POC the items easily. You can do it no bomb, but it's really hard. In my experience it's really hard. Or it's inconsistent, I don't know why, but it's kind of inconsistent. I cannot seem to always end the hyper at the same time. Sometimes there are a lot of yin yangs left, and sometimes there are no yin yangs left, so it's easy to like manually POC. But for this first half you kind of just like mostly POC manually. Just because you don't have the bombs to do it. With my route you just bomb the hard parts. This is another hyper. Now here there is like a really nice stack where you... Basically I have a bomb piece in my fourth slot. When the bomb piece is in the fourth slot, it's gonna release very close to you when the hyper hands. So what I do here is I move down and then I dash up, collecting the bomb piece. I get the bomb extend and I get to bomb. To my knowledge, this has always existed. I've just like never learned it until very recently, and it's really nice to do. You basically. Normally you would get into that section with a bomb already in stock, or at least that's what I used to do, but nowadays I can use the 2 pieces and that extra piece to just get the bomb extend right there. So this is the first suicide of the run, to reset the bombs and to also spawn the static tokens, which we are gonna need. So if you suicide like that, you don't miss any items, so it's perfectly optimal. Right here, this bomb is... it's mostly, honestly, just because it's annoying to do this section without the bomb. Obviously, you gain score by POCing, but... if you needed the... you don't need it, but if you were to need the bomb later into the stage, you would probably save that bomb. So right here, Token was a bit in an uncomfortable position, so I decided to hyper a bit early. Also there, I moved away from Yachi a bit later than what I wanted. Those two things combined make for a slightly less optimal Yachi mid-boss. Also here, to spawn the token, you just whoosh, like that. Really... simple most of the time, but sometimes it can be a bit of a nightmare to do because tokens can be in the way. Yeah, it can be annoying. So that mid-boss lost about 1000 PIV. So this is the first dupe that you do where you dupe starting an otter hyper. To get this dupe consistently, or at least as consistent as possible, because in very rare occasions it can be RNG, you mostly just kill the fairies from right to left, like I did there. And when you do that, the tokens are like synced to be otters by the time your hyper hands. So at that point you have only otters on screen, and it's really easy to just... like collect all of them and get the turtle dupe, you know? So right here, you just hyper this twice, and to start the second hyper you use a bomb. And maybe you should try to speak English with a more proper accent. So right here it's a 3 hotter hyper. Mostly just making sure I don't deal too much damage with the bomb, because obviously I want to keep her alive, and then I want to start the spell by... I basically want to enter the spell killing the non-spell with a bomb. If you do that, you get to damage the spell with your bomb. And by doing this, now you don't have to shoot her down. Or at least you have to shoot her very little. When you shoot in Wubout, you deplete your hyper. So, and you want your hyper here to last as long as possible. Touching Yachi with the Otter Spirits here also depletes your hyper faster. So this movement that I am doing here where I dash, depending on how Yachi moves, if she moves down, the spirits are gonna touch Yachi and the hyper is gonna deplete faster. If she moves down too much, it's a problem because the hyper is very likely to time down early. However, this time that didn't happen. Got a good hyper here, pretty good. This was 85,000 PIV gain, which is more than enough for this space. So right here, this suicide is also very nicely timed. You don't often get to suicide there as often as I just did, and whenever you suicide that early, you perfectly optimize this this non-spell, because as you can see right here, the hyper ended before this new wave started, which means I basically only went through 2 pauses in the bullets, in the like bullet waves, because normally you really want to minimize how many pauses you go through. So then here is a 3 otter. Here I mostly just try to focus to ideally keep this hotter right here on screen, don't let it become an eagle, which is what I try to do here, but I kind of fail right here. Unfortunate, but thankfully, even if when I try to do that, it usually doesn't matter, because there are always enough tokens where you just like, no matter what, you can always suicide and easily start a 3 otter hyper whenever you need to. Then right here, first killer and then you bomb. If you do it like this, she's invincible, she does not take damage, and you can save her HP to shoot her down like this. A bit goofy there, I lost some bullets. Yeah, right here the strategy is to just like cancel. Then preferably like I did here, you have a static otter, you collect it, and now here, no matter the tokens you drop, if you start the first hyper at the correct time, no matter the tokens you drop here, you can always get like a good second hyper activation. The best possible release that you can get for like making it comfortable is double eagle, and guess what? Double eagle, really nice, really comfortable. But even if it was something else, no matter what, it's usually like perfect. You can always get like optimal activation. But double eagle is like the nicest because it's like just perfectly timed. If you spawn wolves, you just hug them for a bit. If you spawn otters, you just instantly collect them. And that's it. This is a very good stage 4. If you exclude the bad first hyper that I had at the very beginning of the stage, the rest of the stage is good. Sufficient, actually more than sufficient Turtle Shell Hell, perfect second non, good final, as usual, as best as it gets. This score entering stage 5 is really good. So at this point I started playing a bit safe here. Normally I play this section much more aggressively. I kill, or more specifically, I POC more of these items, but right here I just want to play safe. Here you do this movement where you go whoosh, you go at the top of the screen, to POC and survive. And then here, if you're not an idiot like me, you don't do this and you don't randomly squeeze in between bullets for no reason. But after that you just bomb like that. POC some items. And now here is the safe spot fairies with safe spots that may look small but are actually like larger than they may look. make sure that you kill that fairy because it spawns a token. The other fairies do not spawn a token. So here you just get to spin like this. Spinny, spinny. A bit of shooting down for the PID. And then now this section is it's really satisfying, the upcoming section, because you'd expect starting the Hyper into Green Kunai to be annoying, but actually because these two tokens that I just spawned always spawn as an eagle, they are always perfectly timed to turn into otters by the time Green Kunai starts. And because of that, the transition is always really nice. Look, I just kill Mayumi. Collect. Right here, really nice. So on this section, you just focus on not collecting the Aniwa. If you eat the Aniwa is gone. You lose the tokens, nothing happens, you just remove it from existence. It's not good. So all these fishes that I am consuming are extremely minor score losses. They are basically irrelevant. As long as you don't collect the beast token, you're gonna be fine. So right here, another cool safe spot that you can do if you move up a bit early after Green Kunai. Then here you just bomb. If you bomb properly, you can... There's like... when you bomb, you POC for like a while. You POC for like a whole second. So right there, even though I had already bombed for like a whole second, I still POC'd items from like a fairy on the left. Right here, you usually just get these fishes out of the way. Like this. You want to have the Aniwa screen and two beasts. This is the only token that you do not dupe in the current routes, because the life piece that you get does not lead you into an extra extend, and you cannot make use of the extra tokens that you get. So like, it's pointless to dupe, at least with the current route. So right here, preferably a 4 otter, 3 otter loses about 30 million, but this is still more than enough. The main focus is to dodge the beast token flying on screen if it's coming towards you. If you do that, if that happens, I know how to basically move through the entire screen horizontally, so that's not a problem in recent times. It's been a problem for like years though, only like recently I personally have learned to like move through the whole screen. So this non-spell right here is very juicy. If you can, you wanna dash up after every wave like this, you wanna dash up like that. Tokens are kind of being in the way. Oh my god, it's like screen is darkening again. Why are you like this? Please. Come on. I don't think I'm gonna like make cuts in the video. I'm just gonna deal with this. Come on, I see my game frozen. Okay, it's back. Really hope it's not gonna show on screen on the recording. So right here, if you suicide like that, 4 otter is optimal, but not necessary. It's not necessary, but it's like it's better, I guess. Like right there, even if the hyper had ended early, sure you lose score, but it's like, it's not that big of a deal. Then there's this where you just like bomb. And just, mostly just like wanna kill 8 Aniwas with the bomb and that's it. Then you kill her. Start a 3 otter hyper and just like shoot her down fully. Best way to do it in my experience. If you try to like move away and not shoot to like increase the length of the hyper, in my experience it doesn't really turn out into like more score. Right here the main focus is on starting a 5 otter. You could focus more on killing the Aniwas, but the priority is to get a 5 otter start. So right here I just like try to maximize how long this hyper lasts by not really shooting, just like staying at the bottom of the screen and cancelling the yellow bullets that come my way. That's about it. And then right here you just bomb twice. Try to safely collect as many tokens as you can. Now here preferably you would want to have the point token on screen, but I am stupid and I instead collected the point token and left that beast token on screen. Luckily it was really easy here to just like, yeah, move to collect the token when it turns into an otter. Most of the time it's easy, sometimes it's annoying, but yeah, preferably you don't wanna deal with that and just like leave the point token on screen. Time the cancel, don't let the items go off screen, and that's a perfect cancel. So right here, this score is massive. This is massive score into stage 6. Like there's suicide. I'm gonna turn on the light in my room because it's getting a bit dark at this point in the day here. So for basically the entirety of this stage section, I just want to bomb spam and make sure I POC as many items as I can. If you do it properly, you get 600 million. Now, most people would use one less bomb than I do on the stage section. However, that bomb is not strictly necessary on Keiki, so I do prefer to use the bomb to basically easily guarantee 600 million on the stage portion. There, boom. So much like the previous world record, my route is different. My route is like an older route because the previous world record used like a new route, which basically moves the suicide that I did at the very beginning of the stage. That suicide is moved into Mayumi. Basically, you use more bombs on Mayumi and less bombs on stage 6. Gains about 80 million, makes the stage 6 much harder though, so I definitely did not do that. I did not need the extra score to come from this like new route. I just optimized the old route, I guess, and that's it. I don't want to get into why it's harder to do stage 6 with that route. I just want to focus on Keiki here because Keiki is... it's complex, it's a really cool boss. So right here, horse dupe. You want to time for how long you touch Keiki, because if you remember, by touching a boss with the otter spirits you deplete your hyper faster. And if you correctly touch Keiki for like the correct amount of time, and if you start the hyper, or well, if you start the fight with like a specific cycle on the tokens on screen, you can most of the time easily dupe like this. You mostly try to sync the non-static beasts on screen to be otters by the time your hyper ends. And if you do that, duping is easy most of the time. Right here, very unlucky, I somehow managed to not collect both of the older statics, which means they both started despawning. I managed to start a hyper using one of them, but the other one just fucked off of screen. It is what it is. It's not a score loss, it just makes the fight a bit harder. So right here, this is like kind of bad, because so normally you want to do a 5 otter first hyper here and 4 otter on the second hyper. Preferably you do want a 5 otter on the second hyper, but that's like up to RNG usually. Right here, I get a 5 otter, but because I didn't get a 5 otter on the first hyper, this 5 otter is basically pointless. I cannot optimize it because I do not have the correct... basically, I do not have the correct wave cycle on Keiki. Even though I have the correct hyper length, I do not have the correct activation of the hyper at the correct cycle in this spell, basically. It's a bit unfortunate. I should have like played this a bit differently when it comes to collecting tokens. So right here, annoying. I wanted to collect these two beasts here, but miss. I don't know how I managed to miss these otters, but I did it. I think I'm gonna lower the volume of the game a bit. It's getting a bit... yeah. It was a bit loud, it's been loud for a while, and I just like now decided to lower it. Should still be hearable on the recording. So here you just wanna do fuck, I can't speak. 2 for otters. Now this was slightly suboptimal because I delayed the hyper so much. I basically... normally you want to end that hyper a bit earlier. And if you do that, you get a better cancel by finishing off the pattern right there. The cancel was not as optimal because I just like bleed the hyper into the last wave that I would normally cancel by finishing her off. Yeah, right here, nothing unusual. I just like cap CC regularly. And now a linear creature. In famous lines, it went well. It went really well. I got 1.8 billion from it, which is enough. It's more than enough for the score I had going into linear, so I'm happy. The focus here is mostly avoiding the static otter. Mostly you just want to have 2 beasts on screen like this when the first hyper ends, because you need all of these tokens. Now I just do it like this. I suicide, start preferably a 4 otter, and now I want that last beast token to not be consumed. I need it to be on screen because I'm gonna need it for Fortnon. So just dodging lines, doing my best, not getting fucked. Almost got fucked there, Jesus. Good cancel, about as good as it gets. So this Fortnon is hypered twice, really nice. This one at about 33 seconds. Just wait like this. You don't want to move too close to Keiki when your bomb is active, because the Master Spark hitbox is deceptively big. So you want to be careful. You don't want to move too close because it's gonna look like you are cancelling the bullets with the otters, but you actually aren't. You're just deleting them with Master Spark. But yeah, by doing that suicide, you can get an extra hyper, just bomb and spin, and you're fine. This spell uses 3 bombs, mostly just to kill the Aniwas. Also, every wave you kind of wanna kill a bunch of Aniwas like this, and then bomb like that. If you don't do this, you lose about how many? Like 36 items in total? That's like 15 million that you're gonna lose. Unless I can count. Can I count? Yeah, that's like 15 million. A bit more than 15 million. Perfect cancel right here. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And then this thing. Really cool safe spot here on the second hyper. It's more of a danger spot, honestly. It's not a safe spot. Because you have to try hard if you wanna survive inside. But this first hyper, you just AFK here. So I did a lot of testing, and somehow standing still here gains as much as moving around. I don't know how, but it just does. Like, same as if you try to move up and spawn cancel the blue waves. That's more understandable because you spawn cancel the bullets, but you touch Keiki, which depletes your hyper a bit. And this is the danger spot where you just move around. let the hotters cancel what you need. Most of the time, no blue bullets escape. Sometimes they do, and when they do it's bad, but most of the time they don't. It has to do with how, or more specifically, it has to do with when you start your Otter Hyper. It's just that it's so uncommon that players don't bother. Players usually never bother with when exactly they start the Hyper, but sometimes not bothering bites you back in the ass. It thankfully didn't for me. So, and then there is this, which I am considering just skipping, because it's fucking geometric creature, you just AFK. This is just like a 3,000, this is like a 3 billion score. This could be gone from the game and nothing will change. It's a bit, it is what it is. Wubauc moment. I kind of like this silly thing, honestly, because it being present or not being present, it's so irrelevant that it doesn't matter if it's in there or not. It's just like silly and funny. Hey look, you just AFK and got like a billion score. Really, the only thing that you need to focus on is getting like a good cancel, which it's not free. Like right here. It's not free because your otters damage her, so if you're not careful you just kill her way too early, or you just like run the risk of playing it safe and then you don't kill her. And then there is this, Idola Diabolus. This is like, if you optimize this, this is the hardest spell in the game. This is insane, this is an insane spell, honestly. This is like the scariest part of the run, actually. At this point, this like... Oh fuck, the screen is darkening again. If you wanna optimize this, this is like at this point the hardest spell in the run, if you wanna optimize. Basic execution, linear creature is gonna stay the hardest forever, but like, yeah. This is like terrifying still on credits, because like, you still wanna get a good score from this. And to get a good score, basically what you want to do is to... You want to break the hypers, but you want to do it manually, because if you just ram into bullets, the bullets you delete with the hyper break are not gonna turn into green items. Right now I'm just waiting for the fucking game to work again. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, it's back. Thank God. So, to optimize this, you wanna move up and you wanna cancel whenever the blue wave is really close to you, like that. Wanna move as high as possible and basically cancel as late as possible, just like that. So yeah, you cannot just run into bullets, and there is a chance if you get it and in the same frame you break the hyper manually, you die. You just die. It's rare, but it can happen, and when it happens it's catastrophic, so you wanna avoid that. Anyways, this Idola Diabolus is like... it's almost a billion score, which is like enough. More than enough. So right here I did a bit too much damage with my shooting. So like right here the HP was like really close to just dying. She was really close to just like dying with hyper breaks, which is something you really don't want to happen. And yeah, this is it. Can I make it? Nope. So there's an extra 10 million which is not added here. Now, could have I gotten 12.2? The answer is multiple yes. There are like 7 different things I could have done to get 12.2, but at this point it's like, whatever. I don't necessarily care about the 2.2 milestone. I mostly just cared about the 12 billion, and I cared about world record. I got both. I am super happy. Uh, I wish for this score to be beaten one day, not by me necessarily, just anyone. Uh, I'm still looking forward for the future of this game. I love this game. I've spent hours on this and I'm just like, I am euphoric that I got this. Just at this point I lack words. I really don't know how to express my feelings for this. So for now I'm just gonna say thank you for anyone who watched basically this entire video. And yeah, see ya next time for another video. Bye bye.